Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know that I feel good. Doing things I never thought I could. Smiling in the mirror.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. I am so excited to see you all here. I see Michelle. I see Amanda. There's Jackie, Holly, Ashley, Darla, Kevin, Tom, Emily. Oh my gosh. So many. So great to see you all. We have one heck of a show in store for you today. If this is your first time tuning in to Real Talk, hello. My name is Abby Waltz. I'm the National Director here at Homes for Heroes and your host for today. The purpose of this particular show series is to talk about the real issues and challenges we're facing in the real estate and mortgage industries and what top professionals are actually doing, taking action upon, getting intentional about, taking action and implementing to position themselves for success through what is a forever changing landscape here in our industries. But it's really here to pour into you to help us all raise the bar in our industry, serve our clients better, and just elevate us, each and every one of us. Because if we can raise the tide, we are going to raise the bar in the entire industry, one agent and lender at a time. So before we get started, a couple of quick housekeeping things for everyone. We're going to spend the next hour together. I want you guys to maximize the impact of this time that you're investing in yourself, your career, your success. So please be here with us. Be present. Take a ton of notes, whether you're old school like me and use pen and paper, or you're on your phone taking some key takeaways. Whatever it may be, think about your strengths, think about where your business is at right now and the things that you're implementing, and pick just 1 to 3 things that will play to those strengths and your business plans that you have for this year to take you to that next level and better serve your clients and serve more clients as well. One of my favorite things about doing these shows live is the chat feature. Use the chat like a networking event, like you would. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Go ahead and put your questions in there as they pop into your head, because if you're anything like me, once they're in, they're gone, unless they are out and typing them out. So pop your questions in there as well. We'll be monitoring that throughout the entire show and pulling that into our conversation today. And share your key takeaways. If something resonates with you, chances are it's resonating with somebody else too. If our guest speaker says something that really hits you, type that in the chat too. I see Holly's tuning in from Austin. So really utilize that chat throughout today. I think it's an absolutely extraordinary way to share and network and kind of engage with one another. I see Audrey from Nashville. Hello. So we've got a great show planned. All right, I will introduce our guest next. Those are the main key things for housekeeping for you guys. This show is going to be absolutely spectacular. I am honored to introduce our extremely special guest today, a true powerhouse in real estate who really exemplifies what's possible with the right strategy and the right mindset. She brings 25 years of invaluable industry experience and has sold an astounding, get this, you guys, 3,000 homes throughout her career. You heard that right. Over 3,000 homes, including 207 in 2024 alone. Mind blowing for the year that we just came off of, for sure. So to put that into perspective, that's nearly 4 transactions, 4 clients served every single week. It's a lot of people. She started as a solo agent, has built one of the most successful real estate teams in her region, consistently ranking among the top producers. Her excellence has been recognized at the highest of levels. She was inducted into the prestigious C21 Dick Laughlin International Hall of Fame back in 2020. And honestly, I know her personally, and what I admire most about her is not just her impressive stats and numbers I just shared with you, but how she's navigated every type of market condition while maintaining exceptional service standards and adapting her business model along the way. She's here today to share her insights on exactly what's working now and how you can position yourself for success in this shifting market. So it is my great pleasure to welcome the remarkable Kristi Fox Satsky to our Real Talk show. Kristi, hello. Thank you so much for being here today. We're so eager to learn from you.
Well, I am happy to be here, and I did not plan to be in my car. Got a little derailed today in a big way, and so I'm sorry for that. And hopefully, my air conditioner will not be too loud. But I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share with y'all. I hope that I have some takeaway that will be impactful to you. If so, I've done my job, and I was here for a purpose, and that's what I get excited about. So, thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. I do know you were thrown for a bit of a loop, hence the background of the car. Life happens, right? But you guys, knowing Kristi personally, even I was sharing this with her earlier, even half her best self is going to be incredibly valuable to you all. So get those pens and paper ready for some notes. Kristi, for those of us that don't know you or have the honor of knowing you, can you give us just a quick short background about yourself?
Absolutely. So I have been in real estate for 25 years in Bryan and College Station, Texas, in this general area. And I started when I was just 22 years old with getting my real estate license. And I just honestly was a girl who realized at 19 when I bought a condo with my 4-H money because I thought paying a landlord was not smart. I figured out real quick, why am I going to make somebody else wealthy instead of myself? Coming from a little town of 3,000 people outside of College Station, where the only real estate professionals were not even realtors, and they were in their 80s for like 20 years. That's what it felt like. And that was it. That's all I knew about real estate was the old people down the block sold houses. So when I did that at 19, I was like, well, that was kind of cool. And I had some realtors who I met, and they kind of planted seeds. And by 22, I realized that I didn't get the privilege of being able to go to college, just my family life and such, on my own at 17. And so at 22, I was like, my life has to have meaning. There has to be something more important than managing a software development office. There has to be something impactful that I can do. Since I was a little girl, like 3 years old, I was going to nursing homes, handing out candy canes, singing Christmas carols, all the things, very service oriented from a little small age. So that was just a big part of me. I was in every single thing at school that I could possibly do, but there was just that instilled in me. And of course, an office job wasn't cutting it. So what could I do? Well, at this point, I was climbing in vacant houses' windows so I could see them because I loved houses and I loved helping people. And somebody was like, you should be a realtor. I'm like, what's that? Even though I'd bought that home, I still didn't know what a realtor was. So I looked into it. I'm like, wow, that's impactful. That's like helping people with the most important thing in their life outside of God, family, what's next? Home. So I thought, wow, this could really, truly bring meaning to my life and who I am. So I immediately dove into my classes and got my license when I was 22. And now 25 years later, I've been able to impact over 3,000 people's, well, more than that when you times 2 and times 4 and whatever size family they had, impact their lives because they are my why. Protecting them is my why. Being an advocate for them is my why. Recognizing that we are a protection industry, essentially, consumer protection industry. No one ever calls it that, but that's what we are. So recognizing that is super important to me. And so that's my why, and that's who I am. And then I guess this September, 10 years ago, I prayed and prayed for something to impact my career even more because internet was kind of, making real estate agents more icky and just door openers, which I didn't like because my heart was in service, not in unlocking doors. And Homes for Heroes found me, and here we are. Over 500 heroes served, about close to $1.1 million given back through the reward program with Homes for Heroes. And that's who I am. I just live and breathe being able to serve others. And I'm also a wife, a mom of two daughters, 14, well, just turned 14 and 17, a little Chihuahua Bella. And I have a great team that we're building, because for too long I tried to do it by myself and made myself literally sick. We'll talk about that later. And so, yeah, that's who I am in a nutshell.
Wow, I love it. What great ages for kids for sure. But I really like the impact and having meaning, that purpose-driven meaning in your life that you touched on, because I think that gets overlooked in our industries so much, both as real estate professionals and as mortgage professionals. It tends to lend itself to volume, to quantity, and you lose sight of the true impact that you have in the lives of so many people, helping them on their homeownership journey, which is one of the biggest investments that they'll make, where their family calls home what they make into a home themselves. And you're literally helping build the communities that you work in. And I think that's so important for people to realize that, and to just not look at the numbers, but to look at the impact that they're doing. I love that take on it.
That's it makes a difference in being able to sustain a career that's 25 years. If you work in a dead end job that has no meaning for 25 years, you're probably gonna not really enjoy it. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to, some people maybe don't need that, but most of us want to really truly find meaning for why we're here, right?
Mhm.
So I think all of at least for me, it's really important to keep my mind focused on that why. And we have whys in everything we do, right? So I really hope that other people can feel that. And if they can't, I want them to really dig deep and try to find that, because it will impact you in a way that makes every single day in this industry, and every single hurdle, and every single challenge, and every single market change, it'll just make you be able to get through it all so much easier and with so much less stress, because the why is absolutely the center of everything that we do. If it's
Mhm.
not, it's probably not the right industry for someone.
Yeah. I know we didn't discuss this before, but go on a tangent with me on that topic specifically, because it's very easy to get pulled back into old habits, or to lose sight of that meaning. And sometimes we just need to come back around, or come back and recenter, right? Meditation can do that. There's a lot of different practices that can help you
Mm-hmm.
get back to where you're looking to go. What practices do you have to keep your why and your purpose front and center? And I'd like you to answer that now. And then also when you first uncovered it, like, because that's the work, right? The hard stuff that you got to get into. Any tips and tricks for making that a little easier for newbies? And then how do they keep it going forward?
Well, actually, this is going to sound funny, and my team is going to laugh if any of them are on here. I have an app. It's called Motivation. Pay for the little extra for the full thing. It's called Motivation. And one of my team members introduced me to it a few years ago, going through a lot of struggles personally in my life. And once I got that app, it literally filled in the gaps that I had going on for that. This app literally is a constant reminder all day long of to keep going, right? Keep going. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why you should do it well. It just is a constant reminder of, Kristi, you have a purpose. So just get up and go do the things you need to do, because you're going to impact someone in a really big way if you do. So don't sit around and sulk because that deal fell through, or the market's hard, or finances were tricky because things changed in the industry. Don't sulk over losing a teammate or a client chose another realtor, whatever negative. Don't soak over the personal stuff. Refocus every day on what's important, your why. Everybody always talks about your why. It truly matters. It truly matters. Without it, you're going to work yourself to death and get burnout and drop out, right? You're going to wake up and you're going to go, why am I doing this? Why did I just work 10 hours yesterday for 0 pay per hour? And nothing came of it. But instead, you have to remember that everything I do today impacts tomorrow. What I don't do today will negatively impact tomorrow. And what impact, domino effect, can what I did today have on the lives of other people? So being able to use that app, keep my why in my mind, and then not look at this as a job. Those are really the key points that keep me going. Because guys, I literally say all the time, I've worked 7 days a week for 25 years. Now, last summer, I lost my mom. Was the first time I took off work in 25 years. That is sad. Don't do that. You do need some days off. However, I don't feel like I'm working a lot of the time. It's not a job. It's not a job. You need to work it like a job, right? So it feels like a catch-22. You've got to work it like a job. You do not get up, have a schedule, have your top 3 things you know you have to get done today, focus, time manage, do all the things so that all the boxes are checked. You're not going to get it all done. You're not going to be successful. You have to prioritize, and you have to manage your time, and you have to run it like a job. Don't give yourself the flexibility that so many entrepreneurs and, realtors in general, mortgage lenders, they give themselves freedom. Do not give yourself freedom from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Work like an employee. Work for yourself. You are your boss, but work like an employee. Because then what happens is during those hours, you get as much done as you possibly can, and you can work by appointments, nights and weekends. And if you have to work every night and every weekend, or you're having to answer your text messages or answer your phone in the evenings when other people are free, it's not going to feel like work because you focus on your why and you love what you do. And that interruption brings joy to you because you just impacted them in a great way. You asked me about a home warranty question on a house I sold you 3 years ago. I'm not mad about it at 8 o'clock. I'm glad that you remembered me and that I told you to keep your home warranty, because if you use it properly, it can truly help you. Call me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm your realtor for life. Let me help you when you get in a bind. And you remembered. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad you texted me at 8 o'clock. I'm not mad that you called me on Saturday because you can't remember what you were supposed to do with that homestead thing I told you about 6 months ago. Because you remembered me and I impacted you, and you know we're a team and I'm not going anywhere. That mindset is the difference between staying the course and making a true career out of your real estate industry, no matter which part of it you're in, any industry, frankly, that you're in. Mm-hmm. But that makes all the difference. But if your mindset is, why did they call me? Why are they bothering me? I need a break. It's Saturday. It's Sunday. That's not going to get you where you want to be. And that, if you go and you Google Kristi Fox Real Satisfied Testimonials, you will see over 600 testimonies from clients Century 21, got for me over the years. I did not get these for myself. And the constant thing you're going to see is communication, follow-up. She was always available for me. I don't feel like I was doing anything that got in my own way as far as my personal life. I just did what they needed to make sure they were taken care of. But that is the common theme. So being available, not getting upset about interruptions, knowing that their time off is your time to work, but during business hours, you've got to be doing all the other stuff so that you can have the next client and the next client and the next client. It's just so important that you start with the mindset. And as Brian Buffini says, you have to build your habits, you have to have the right attitude, and you have to work on your skills. He would always write on his board, HAS, H-A-S, habits, attitude, and skills. I preach that all the time because without all three of them, there's going to be a missing link. If you don't have the right attitude, but you have great habits and great skills, the puzzle is not complete. If you have the attitude and nothing else, the puzzle is not complete. So you always have to be working on all three pieces of that puzzle. And when you do, then that will impact your career and that will push you to the next level. All of that works together to long-winded answer to that question.
Oh my gosh, I love every piece of it that you just shared, every piece of it. I eat up stuff about mindset and having that purpose and that why, because it operates as a filter. First of all, one of my favorite quotes is actually from the book Living Untethered. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but it says the moment in front of you is not bothering you. You are bothering yourself about the moment. And having that mindset is just a game changer for how you perceive and the stories you tell yourself for what's happening for you instead of to you, and all of that kind of stuff. But habits, attitude, skills, and having that right mindset absolutely impacts building your habits and the attitude you have about it. So I I think we're done. We don't need anything else. I saw a
A
lot of
lot
head
more
nods.
here. Tell me what you want.
I love it. So you talked a little bit about working it like an employee, even though we're all our own bosses mostly, um, in some kind of way, whether you're in real estate or in mortgage, for sure. Do you have a routine that you follow on a daily, weekly, monthly basis?
So my routine has changed a lot lately, because I'm building a team now. A lot of the years before the last few years, I was either solo agent with licensed staff, or I might have had, a sales agent here, they'll help me. But in 2022, after honestly crazy health things, I felt like I was being led to do something different. And I'm so grateful. You can have the worst things happen to you and then find the good out of them. And so, oh, you have a rare and curable disease. Your life is going to be very different. Okay, well, what's the meaning in that? You're supposed to be a mentor and a coach and a teacher, and you're supposed to take that 20, well, at that time, it was 20 years, 20 years of knowledge and experience, or 22 years rather at the time, of knowledge and experience, and share it with others, and not only impact the lives of the consumers, but other realtors and lenders and anyone else whose lives you can maybe impact. And then with helping them, now they're going to be able to help other people in the same way that you do. I always used to say that, I would sell 125, 150 homes with me and maybe a couple licensed staff. And I was killing myself, y'all, which literally made me sick. Don't do what I do. Get help way before I did, right? And enough help. But I would always say, first of all, I know I can do more because I know what my days look like, right? And I knew that I could be more on top of my time management. I could be more on top of my interruptions. But I would also always say, like, somebody would say, when is enough enough? And I'm like, well, when I can help everyone and make sure they're protected. I don't want anybody to have to work with an agent who's only out for themselves or someone who doesn't know what they're doing. I don't want someone to get in a bind because they were with the wrong agent. So I just want to help everybody. Well, we know that's not possible, but that's always been my mindset. So 2022, I started building a team, which honestly will help me be able to impact more people. I had gotten to the point with my licensed staff and Alana, who is my niece and works alongside me now as manager of my team. but she helped me, and we had gotten up to 200 transactions with our licensed staff. And it was like, oh my gosh, how can we do this? And how can we sustain this? We want to help as many people. So the answer to your question, my schedule looks very different now than it used to. But what it looks like is this: follow up. That's number one. Every day you have to find the time to follow up with every opportunity that you may have, every current customer that you are working with, every current client that you are working with, every person that's under contract, and every person that's listed that you possibly can. Your communication is key throughout the entire process from moment one and beyond the rest of your life. Because for me, my clients don't go away at closing. I have over 3,000 clients. I want to still be here. And guess what? Repeat and referral is where it's at. That's where it's at. That saves you time, that saves you money, that saves you energy. But that communication and showing them that you're here to protect them, and showing them that you're going to take care of everything for them, and letting them know that they can trust you fully with their largest investment in your hands, helps build that repeat and referral business. So your day looks like this. Follow up. Old people, new people, every people. You implement Homes for Heroes to that. Which organization can I impact today by making sure they know about my reward program? Which organization today is going to have that specific person that was about to buy a home, and I just was able to put an extra $3,000 in their pocket? If I didn't take the time today to make sure they knew, then they missed out on that, and that's my fault. I don't like that. I don't want to feel at fault because somebody lost money. If they lost money because they didn't know, I don't want it to be my fault. So every day to me looks like following up, educating, spreading the word, living and breathing our careers and why we're here and what we're doing, and being able to spread the word of Homes for Heroes. So whether you're at the grocery store or a restaurant or talking to a stranger or talking to someone that you know, you have to not be what you've heard, I'm sure, called a secret agent. And you cannot be a secret Homes for Heroes agent. Otherwise, you do have that on your shoulders. Man, I didn't know that lady who was my neighbor 2 streets over, who happened to be a nurse, was going to sell her house, and she did not even know about Homes for Heroes. So she used her old realtor instead of me because that was her old realtor. But if she would have known, she probably would have used me. That's my fault. So you don't want to carry that kind of, negative feelings on your shoulder. So just do something about it every single day and know that you did enough to be impactful, and that you can stand proud and know you did everything you could to reach as many people as you could. And then everything that comes to you is a gift that came from your hard work. And it's a gift to them because you made sure they were impacted by your work. So get up, take care of yourself, exercise, eat, all the things that I say to do and don't do as I always do. Take care of yourself. I learned it from getting sick. Get that motivation. Get started. My team, we start with a huddle every morning. And you've got to start somewhere. And don't let it be at your first appointment at noon. Let it be first thing in the morning. Get up, take care of yourself, and immediately go into your follow-up. Immediately go into your plan that you've already ironed out for the week. You know what you're going to do every day at a minimum, and then you fill in the blanks. And your goal is to have at least 1 appointment a day. If you don't have a client to list their house or show a house, you have an appointment to go spread the word about Homes for Heroes. Have an appointment every single day, 5 days a week. 1 appointment a day. And an appointment is spreading the word, showing a house, listing a house, doing a buyer consultation, doing a seller consultation, doing a Homes for Heroes talk, right? Appointment a day. Then fill in the blanks. Just schedule it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fly by the seat of your pants.
Get it on your calendar, because if it's not there, you're not going to do it.
Yes.
And I know that seems so simple. But if you put it in perspective as the numbers go, right? Even just one appointment a day, as you just listed all of the ideas out. I mean, it could even be taking somebody to coffee if you wanted to and reconnecting with somebody face to face. It doesn't have to be Homes for Heroes if you're super passionate about maybe Big Brother, Big Sisters, or
Mhm.
adopting animals, or whatever it may be that resonates with you. Clearly, Kristi is very passionate about our heroes for sure. So that's her thing. But whatever works for you, make sure that you're doing that one a day. And if you do it 5 days a week, there's 52 weeks in the year, right? That's 260 appointments throughout the year. And you've got to do, I would probably recommend 4 times that in connections and outreach to get to those appointments. So one a day translates into 4 calls a day. And I think we all have that within our schedules to do. I get it, life gets hectic. But instead of doing the busy work, doing the work that creates impact, which then leads to profits afterwards, which is a result, not the whole point of it, right? It's very
Right.
manageable when you simplify it by the numbers.
Yeah. And I do talk a lot about Homes for Heroes, but I have been involved in so many organizations because it is important to give back to your community. But when you do that, that is networking. And I will literally tell you again, repeat and referral is where it's at. Well, how do you get that? Networking. I've been a Chamber of Commerce ambassador. I've served on so many boards. I'm still on so many boards. I've been on some so long they call me a lifetime member and say you don't even have to come to meetings anymore. But I still show up because that's networking, and that's important to make sure that people, like I said, don't be a secret agent. So while you're giving back and you're fulfilling your why and your purpose on this earth, you're also networking and building your business, which is how I built it in the beginning. That's how I went from 0 to 30 transactions my first year in real estate, because I got out in front of people and lived and breathed what I do. Not in a pushy way, but in a plant the seeds way, because pushy is not where it's at. Giving little subtle hints and reminders is where it's at. Make sure they know, but without getting annoyed with you because you're in their face about it all day long about what you do. But when someone says, "Oh, what does Kristi do?" She's a realtor. They know because I've planted the seeds without freaking them out. And I've seen too many people make that mistake. You don't want somebody to get on your social media and all they see is real estate related stuff. They don't know anything about you, but you're a realtor, and they get bored and they're not going to follow you. It's the same thing in the public when you're networking. Build relationships. I got to, I believe it was 86%, something like that, repeat referral business from building relationships. So that is my focus. That is what I spend my time and energy and money on. And that is what's continued to build my business and my Homes for Heroes business as well. Build relationships by doing the unexpected extras. You want to surprise them. You want them to remember you, because if they don't, if they look back 5 years from now and go, "Who is my agent again?" That's your fault, because you did not impact them in a manner that they remembered you. But more important, you didn't follow up after the sale. We use Follow Up Boss. It's magic. It's magic. And before we used it, we struggled more with being able to keep track of everything. Follow Up Boss has been so impactful for my team because they don't have to remember everything. It remembers it for them as long as they use the system properly. But you want to remember their birthdays. You want to remember their anniversaries, their house anniversaries. You want to be on their social media, friend them. And when they have a baby, show up with a gift card in the mail or go pop by and hand it to them. Bring them a meal. These people should be your friends. No, not in a weird way, right? Treat them like a neighbor, not your best friend neighbor, but the neighbor down the street who you're going to go take some food to if they're sick and need you. These people should not be strangers. When I'm going through a real estate transaction, I'm not just a data collector and a paper pusher. I am from the beginning planting the seed so that when their kids are calling me Aunt Kristi 5 years from now, it's because I was part of their home. That's important to them. So you become part of their team. You become their friends. Pretty much, gosh, I don't know. Most every friend I've had over the years came from a real estate transaction. The people I do business with and the people I refer business to came from real estate transactions. Relationships are key. So when you're going through that transaction, some people feel like their loan doesn't matter to me. That's the lender's business. Who they are doesn't matter to me. They're not asking questions. They're not learning who they are. They're not finding out when their birthday is. They're not finding out their hobbies. They're not, getting to know them. This is a personal industry. This is not something that is a one-time, purchase at Target. This is a personal, important, highly responsible industry. And if you can't get on a level with your clients that they can confide in you their needs, wants, wishes, how can you truly help them? But when they're confiding that in you, you are learning about them. You're building that relationship. That will build your army of referral makers. That will bring that business to you. So when you're going through this, don't look at them as a number. Don't look at them as a sale. I am not a salesperson. I get mad when somebody calls me a salesperson. I don't sell anything. I'm providing a service in my consumer protection industry. Service is very different than sales. But when people look at it like sales, that's when 5 years from now they call the sign or the person that popped up on Zillow because they have no idea who you are. My clients are going to get a gift at closing that is personalized to them and me. When they turn it over, it has my logo on it. They're not going to forget every time they look at it where it came from and who gave it to them. Plus, it's a promotional item now with my name on it, which is great for your taxes, for your expenses. You leave that lasting impression at closing. You follow up with thank you notes. You follow up with did you get all settled in? You follow up, right? There's a theme. And follow up boss and other CRMs can help you do that. But you cannot go to closing, shake their hand and walk away, or that's it, one and done. And every transaction should bring you at least 4 more. And when they're excited about the transaction you just had, that's when they're going to be more apt to go talking about it to everyone. And that's when someone says, well, who was your realtor? And when they're talking about, oh my gosh, look what my realtor gave me. Oh, I need to use your realtor. And especially if you happen to be Home for Heroes and your realtor also gave you a big old rebate check for $2,000 after closing, and they're talking about that, referral partners. So talking about schedule, my team does something that probably many people have heard of, but maybe not. It's like a formula, 5-5-4-2-2. So every day, remind yourself this formula. What this formula is reminding you, like, every day, this is how many people I need to talk to and what the actions I need to take are. So you've got to talk to 5 current people, 5 new people, 5 old people, 5, 4, and 4. And then you've got to do 2 CMAs and you've got to do 2 social media posts. So basically, you've got to just remind yourself every day, my formula for my minimum amount of business that I do is this, right? Who are these people going to be? Follow-up lists can help you with that. But you've got to have new people or there's nothing incoming to replace the outgoing, right? And you've got to then make sure you're communicating with the people that are actively working with you right now. And then you've got to follow up with those old people so they can be your referral partners. So you've got to make sure that each one of those categories is met every single day with your follow-up. And then the 2 CMAs a day for self-owners, expireds, people you sold a house to 5 years ago, friends, family, anybody that may possibly want to know the value of their home. You know someone that lived in their house for 10 years and might have $150,000 equity. Maybe they're getting close to retirement. That might be someone that wants to know what the value of their home is and they haven't even thought about it yet. So watch social media, look at changes in people's lives. They just got married. They might want to upgrade into a bigger home before they have kids. They just had a new baby. They might want to upgrade. Don't go in it pushy, but hey, I was just thinking about you and thought you might want to know what today's value of your home is because I noticed in your area, the values have gone up significantly over the last blank years. So I just took a few minutes to do a CMA for you and I wanted to share it with you just so you might have that information in case you decide you want to sell. You'll have an idea of what it's worth. Sweet, short, simple. If you did 5 a day, imagine what you could do with that. But 2 a day is not that hard. And you can find automated ways of doing it. And you can find, shorter, simpler ways of doing it. Just doing anything matters. Doing anything is impactful. Most people just don't do anything. And then 2 social media posts a day. But it can't just all be about real estate, but you need to be in people's face. You can't, again, be a secret agent. And so you also just can't be a no one, a real estate agent or a lender or someone who has no social media presence, but has to find customers. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work because think about how many times you meet someone and you go stalk them on social media. I know you do it. Everybody does it. I probably do it every day. They're going to stalk you too. Let your social media be filled with information, education, fun stuff. Who are you as a human being? Let them get to know you, but while also planting the seeds of what you can do for them. Data is really important. Pouring data at people right now in this industry, especially the market conditions we have right now, a lot of people are worried about, where do I get the business? I don't have enough business. There's not enough to go around. Buyers are scared to buy. Sellers are scared to list. But honestly, so much is media driven and bad information driven and assumptions, right? So instead of letting people assume, talk about the numbers. First of all, you're a professional and you're an expert when you know the numbers. And so be that expert and share it. And then that helps their fears. And then that helps them say, you know what? Inventory is actually up. There probably is a house out there for me now. Let me go ahead and go try to find a house. But instead they were thinking, there are no houses for sale. I'm not going to find one. So I'm not going to look, because they're still living in the last 4 years. But we have to educate people that that is gone. What we're in right now feels normal to me, normal for my, pre-COVID years. It feels very natural, back to normal. A lot of people don't feel that way, but I've been in this market condition so many times over 25 years that this is like what I was used to. The days on market are actually better than what the majority of my career were. The mentality is different because of what we just came out of. And so we have to educate and say, don't listen to your neighbors who sold in a day. They sold in a different world. Let me show you the data of what's actually happening right now so that you can be prepared, set expectations, and then exceed those expectations if you can. But if you don't explain that to them and they don't say it to you, then you are going to actually hurt yourself because they have false expectations. You guys didn't have a conversation about it. They thought they were going to sell it in a day because their neighbor did 3 years ago. And now they're mad at you because you didn't do that. And you never actually told them the difference in the market now versus back then. And who's talking about real estate? The people who have done it most recently, right? So they are talking about a completely different era, right? Completely different. So let's go and educate on our social media. Let's educate in our buyer consultations from the first moment you start speaking to someone, you've got to plant seeds, subliminal messages. You can't throw so much information at them that they're, what did you just say? But you have to ask the questions. Hopefully y'all know LP Mama. where you're going through qualifying questions with them from the start. But when you're doing that and you're asking those questions about where they want to live and when they want to move and about their finances and their motivation and all the different things, you've got to be then planting seeds at the same time about market conditions, because that's going to help them get whatever's in their mind that Judy next door was talking about. It's going to get that out of their mind and show you as a professional and an expert and set their expectations for what truly is going on right now in the market. When you combine that with being able to say our inventory is up 24.6% right now, which is great news for you because now we actually have that many more homes to choose from. And the good news is that our volume is actually up by 8%. So, you just start throwing that out there. Now, don't make up numbers. Get it from your MLS. It's there. Every MLS across the country should have that data for you. So we get it monthly, and I look at it and I implement it into my conversations every day, because that, again, sets you apart. But it's impactful when people can hear, especially the good news. Our sales prices are continuing to rise. It's our sales prices are up 4.2%. Oh, really? I thought that they were going down. No, not at all. So that's why you've got to buy in today's prices versus tomorrow's prices, because you're worried about the interest rate, which is not going to substantially change anytime soon. But the prices are changing. So buy today's prices, lock in whatever rate you can right now, and know that you can always change that if something drastic changes. Otherwise, we've just got to live in today. We can't sit here in a situation that we don't want to be in, whether it's a rental or a home that's too small or a home that's too big or too old or whatever, because of the interest rates. Now, can we afford to move? It's all relative. It depends where you are, I guess. Some people can't. Unfortunately, some people are priced out of the market, but the majority of people are not. Most people, it's a mindset, and it's basically the ignorance to what's actually going on in the market. I don't say ignorance in a negative way. It's just they don't know. And so when you explain to them that our interest rates are still actually historically low, though our prices are historically high, the prices are going to continue to go up. The interest rates are going to continue to stay about where they are, give or take. You can always change it. Everybody says that cliche, date the rate and marry the house. Don't say that. It's overworked. But do set that expectation to them that buy what you can afford right now. You don't have to have it forever, but you can get out of your current situation. But just don't wait. I've had people that have said, I'm going to wait till next year because of the rates that just cost themselves a fortune. Mm-hmm. I've had people that have caused themselves a lot of fortunes in the last few years. And you need to use those examples to people. Now, some of you may be in an area where prices are going down. That's a completely different world than I'm used to. My area is very strongly consistent. Thank goodness. If you're in an area where prices are going down, you have definitely a hardship and something to overcome. But we always go back to the why. We're in this business. We also need to remind our clients their why. Why are they selling? Why do they want to move? Why did they call in the first place? Why did they click on that house on Zillow? Why? And remind them of that, because the numbers can be scary, but the why is what is important and what matters. So we take the why and then we figure out the solution to get them to where they want to be. And that's when you work with your lender partners, and that's super important to have them. You work with your lender partners and you build that relationship with your client so they give you the enough information to help find the solution. It is our business. A lot of people are like, it's not my business. I'm not doing that. It is our business, because we can't find the solution without the knowledge. And without the knowledge, we can't share it with the important people who have the tools to put it all together and tie it up in a pretty bow. So asking those questions is so important. And then having that connection, that partnership with lenders, title companies, inspectors, everyone. You should have partnerships with everyone. And they also will be referral partners for you, by the way. So use the data and make sure that you are just educating the community that you're in. You want to become a local expert, right? You want people to say, oh, let me call Abby because she is always talking about what's going on in the market. And so she'll probably know the answer to this question. You want to be that person. That's important. But you have to educate yourself and then you have to speak on it. And just having the knowledge, you're going back to being a secret agent again. You've got to have the knowledge and then you have to share it, which is why I built my team, because I love that. I love sharing the knowledge and the experience that I have. So share that. It feels so good to be able to protect people in that manner, at least for me. So maybe I'm weird, but I know you had some questions for me, Abby, and I probably answered a lot of them. And I know our time is short. Was there anything that I didn't get to that you want me to make sure to cover before time is up?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I have a ton of bullets and takeaways, especially with what you just shared. I think using the data was a great point because it can take the emotion out of it to help educate your clients a little bit more, to think a little bit more logically and get them back into that mindset. Reminding them of their why, I think, is a great round out here. Setting expectations, all the systems that you use. I think I'll ask you two questions. One, and I'll come back to it, would be what has been your biggest thing that you do that's provided the most return on investment with your time? And the second will be a piece of advice for people that feel as though they're struggling right now and are
Okay.
going through those hard times. So first one, I'll let you take that one first.
Uh, yes, that one's super easy because I've talked about it a lot, and that is invest in your relationships. That is where I spend the most dollars. Putting the money into the people that know your name brings the highest return on the investment. Strangers have no reason to trust you. But, Kevin Bacon's 6 degrees of separation, that is a true, real thing, right? And so when somebody is sharing your name, now there's a sense of trust, and they know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who also knows you, and it becomes a full circle. I will tell you, get on Facebook. I'm old-ish. I'm getting old. And so I'm not so much of TikTok. Sorry, that's how I say it. TikTok girl. Don't be laughing at me, y'all. I'm on Facebook, and there are so many Facebook groups that are local to your communities. People are on them all the time asking for a real estate agent. Scour those. Make sure that you tell your friends, family, clients, hey, if you see anybody on social media looking for a realtor, make sure to tag me. My clients are my friends on there, so they're tagging me all day long, right? My past clients. This is past clients, friends, family, etc. They will tag you and share. And so I have gotten such a return on that investment, because then I get on there and other people are like, yeah, call me. I get on there and say, I have this experience and knowledge, and I would love to interview for the position as your real estate professional. And they call me or they message me, and it works because I'm not just saying call me, and I go and I message them and I give them my information and make it easy for them. And so I get a big return on that. I do targeted ads on Facebook as well, but I feel like the relationships on social media is way more important than just the cold ads. Number two, a piece of advice, the appointments. You've got to get appointments, get people in front of you, get them on video calls, get them on phone calls. So many people are, especially before this buyer rep change happened across the country, are just all about, texting and emailing. And you've got to start building the relationship right away. And then you've got to get in front of them to show your value. So buyer agency problems, everyone is struggling with it. Nobody wants to sign papers. They don't even know you yet. If you build a relationship, you give them testimonials from your other clients, and you share the knowledge of what your value is with them. We have like a book that we give them that shows like a buyer guide and a seller guide. So show them your value in an appointment. They are going to be more apt to work with you versus someone that they've just texted with from Zillow or something,
Mhm.
because you started the relationship fast and you set an appointment with them. But you don't want to be pushy about it, but you need to show them the value of setting the appointment. I can get a lender there. I will go over the whole process with you. I will make sure you understand what we need to do next. I'm going to take care of everything for you. I'm going to hold your hand through the process. You don't have to know what to do next, because I'm going to be there to make sure it's all taken care of for you. So the appointments are super important, and just make sure that you combine the relationship mindset with the appointments. Make sure you're talking to people versus texting, and you need a 14-day action plan from the moment you get that lead to the time that you convert them to a sale. You need to be calling them, texting, and emailing every single day until you get them on the hook. If you call them once, that's it. If you call them twice, that's it. Once today, once next week, once the week after, they've moved on. You're a secret. They don't know you. So the follow-up is, again, the most important factor of the new lead, and do it every single day, and don't worry about doing it too much until you talk to them. Keep calling, texting, and emailing, and then get the appointment.
Oh, you make it sound so easy. And I know it's not, right? But it is getting in those habits, and having that right mindset that translates through in how you pour into your people as well, having those
If you
established.
time manage and have enough hours in the day to do it all, then it is easy. I have a new agent on my team. He does this, and he is a superstar already, because he literally works this as a job and manages his time so well. And I'm so proud of him. And he has people calling me. I had the second call today, he doesn't even know, of someone speaking so highly about him after 3 months in the business, because he's working it like a job and getting on that phone and doing that follow-up and being so kind and building those relationships. And that's where it's at.
If you heard nothing else today, you guys, follow up and build relationships and invest in that alone. That will take your career to the next level. Again, I know it sounds simple, but it is if you just do it,
If
right?
he does do, that's right.
Yeah. Well, Kristi, I know you've got so much going on right now. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for spending your time pouring into us, sharing your incredible wisdom and perspective with us all. It was refreshing. It was energizing. Like, I'm not even practicing real estate anymore, and I'm jazzed and stoked right now about it. So you've got a lot of love in the comments. I saw a ton of nods in our audience. Just absolutely extraordinary. You are one of a kind, and I so appreciate you having you a part of our Homes for Heroes family, but helping us raise the bar in the industry too. So thank you so much, Kristi. I appreciate you.
It is my pleasure, and I really appreciate y'all having me here. And if anybody needs anything, just look up Kristi Fox in Texas, and you will find me. And I'm happy to share my knowledge and my wisdom. And sometimes good, sometimes bad, I guess. I don't know, but hopefully, I got lots of great stuff to share with you, and I don't mind doing it. It really makes me happy to be able to help.
Yeah, she will keep it real for sure. So she'll be open
Absolutely.
and honest and transparent.
That's
Oh,
exactly right. Whether you
I-
want to hear what I have to say or not, I'll say it.
I love it. I love it. Again, lots of love in the comments. Thank you all for spending the last 60 minutes with us. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I hope you found it tremendously valuable. The next Real Talk is 1 month from today, third Wednesday in April, which I believe is 3/16. We'll be having two very special guests for you guys on that show. So thank you so much for joining us, and special thanks to you, Kristi. Much appreciate it.
Thank you. Y'all
Make
take
it a great
care.
week.
Bye.
Doing
Bye.
things I never thought I